Alright, so a few hours ago, some Leroy nerfs were announced and released at the same time. Generally, they like to release the patch notes like a day or so before, and then release the patch afterwards. But it seems like they did both at the same time this time, so let's look at these notes and see what's going on here. Alright, so the first change up here is 1-1, 1 plus 2, 1. It seems you got to change, a bunch of changes. They changed the frame advantage when guarded from -7 to -9 on hit, to +2 instead of +4. Homing decreased. That's always nice with Leroy because everything seems to be homing. Okay, that was the second hit. The sixth hit, -13 now, it's taking -10. That's a good nerf. The frame advantage upon hit from +1 to -2. Okay. And the seventh hit, they reduce the damage and change the behavior when hit. So let's look at that. So that's what it looks like now on hit. That means now it won't wall splat anymore, which is pretty nice. And the rest of the changes were to the frame advantage, pretty much on every part of that move, and the damage on the last hit of that move. So the frames were nerfed, the damage was nerfed, and it no longer wall splats. Yeah, I still think this move is going to be pretty good though, so I think those nerfs were fair adjustments. We'll see how it plays out in the future, but let's continue. Alright, so we got 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2, 1. They nerfed the damage by 5. So let's see what that is. Okay, that was his 14 frame punish, I believe, yes. So they nerfed the damage on his 14 frame punish. It's still really good. Obviously, it's just a little bit of an adjustment. That's still a pretty good 14 frame punish. Down to 4. Decrease the distance between the character and the opponent when the move is guarded. Okay. So that just makes this move easier to punish, basically, when it's blocked. Just a little quality of life change there. Nothing huge. Down 3. Change the damage from 14 to 10. Okay, so that's this. That's part of the down 3 too. So they nerfed the damage of this entire string basically by 4. Well, I guess they just nerfed the first low hit by 4, but of course that makes the entire string do 4 less damage when it hits. That's good. I mean, the move is really good. It needed a slight adjustment. I personally would have made it a little bit slower instead, but we'll see how that plays out. Down 1 plus 2. Change the opponent's behavior when guarded. Frame advantage will become 0 to -4, so they changed this to -4. And they changed the opponent's behavior on counter hit. So that is the infamous down 1 plus 2 that everyone hates. Now it's -4, as you can see right there. Oops. Right, -4 on block instead of 0. It no longer puts them in a crouching state, which is what everyone said it should have been doing in the first place. So that is a great adjustment. That should have definitely happened. They changed the behavior on counter hit. Oops. So it no longer launches anymore. It just knocks down. I'm guessing that means it gives just a guaranteed low hit like that. I'm not really sure. I'm not a Leroy player, but if so, that move got heavily nerfed. Not only did they nerf how good it is in neutral, you know, when your opponent's blocking, they nerfed what it does on counter hit tremendously. It no longer gives a full combo. So, looking at this move objectively, I still think it might be pretty decent. Like, it won't be overpowered or insane or anything. I think even with the nerf that huge to the move, which is a devastating nerf, by the way, I think the move might still be pretty okay to use. That's how strong this was. So yeah, I still think the move will be pretty usable. I'm not sure exactly how strong it'll be, but we'll just have to see about that in the future. Alright, down back 1. Change the damage from 15 to 12. Okay, so reduce the damage. Crouch status removed. Wow. That's pretty big. That's this move here, down back 1. They removed the high crush from it. So that was a huge selling point of the move. That made the move really good. And also, this follow-up used to be safe, which was crazy. So yeah, they removed the high crush from it, and they reduced the damage a little bit. It'll still be used now, just not the way it was used before. You know, before it was used to bait for high crush it, to bait for high so that you could counter hit your opponent and get guaranteed follow-ups. But I still think it'll be okay to throw out if you're trying to mix your opponent up and whatnot. If you're using this one, at least. Because it is guaranteed on normal hit, the whole thing. But yeah, that's a pretty big nerf to the move, I think. But we'll have to see how that plays out. Okay, back 1. Reduce the damage by 5, basically. Okay, that's his counter hits. Palm. So they reduced it from 50 to 45 damage. It's still really good. Let's see what it's like on block again. I forgot. -6. 11 frames. It comes out 11 frames. So, yeah, this move is still going to be really good. That's just a slight nerf to it. But that's still a very strong counter hit move. Back 1+2. Change the damage from 20 to 17, so nerfed by 3. Change the frame advantage when guarded from -5 to -9. Okay. Decrease the distance between character and opponent when the move is guarded. So that makes... we'll talk about that in a second. Change the frame advantage upon hit from +6 to +2. So nerfed all the frames here and the damage. And then increased whiff recovery animation by 10 frames. That's pretty huge. So let's take a look at that. That is his back 1+2. One of his strongest moves. Everyone was complaining about this. 12 frame counter hit mid launcher. So they nerfed the damage on it. On hit. Okay. They changed the frame advantage. Now it's -9. You see right there? It used to be -5. And they decreased the distance when it's blocked. So there's not a lot of pushback anymore. This will remove the safeness. I mean, it's still safe. But this means when you use this, it's now your opponent's turn. So it doesn't have pushback. It's not only -5 anymore. It's -9 and you're in your opponent's face. That will vastly change the impact of this move already. That's already a huge change. On top of that, they nerfed the frames on hit. So now it's +2 only instead of +6. Which is, it's just a little quality of life. That's not really a huge change right there. But then the biggest part is they increased the whiff recovery animation by 10 frames. That will make this move much easier to whiff punish. And seeing as that it's fairly short range with all the other nerfs, that's a huge nerf. Just to kind of quote JDCR here, he says something along the lines of, if this move was made to be whiff punishable easily, then that would make this move completely useless. I'm not sure how true that is, because the 12 frame mid counter hit launcher still sounds pretty good to me. But that's just a quote from JDCR, so we'll see how that plays out as well. Okay, that's his orbital. Decrease the range of the attack. So we all know the orbital. They just decrease the range. That's a fair nerf. You know, quality of life. Still extremely fast. Fastest orbital in the game. Just decrease the range a bit to make it a little more in line. So again, that's a fair nerf. It's still going to be extremely good, by the way. So, okay, forward, 2-2. Decrease the distance between the character and the opponent when the move is guarded. So they just reduce the pushback, which makes it easier to punish. Small quality of life change. Forward 3. Change the frame advantage when guarded from +1 to -2. The homing decreased. It loses the homing attack. That's interesting. That's forward 3. So let's take a look at that. Let's see how much homing actually went away. Alright. That looked pretty easy to step. This move was made pretty linear, it looks like. Let's try it from a longer range. Oops. Yeah, it looks like it's been... yeah, it's been nerfed pretty hard. The homing is completely gone. Doesn't seem to have very much tracking at all. Seems really linear. So that will make that definitely more fair. Will that move be good though? Will that move be good? Let's see what it looks like on block. I forgot. They did nerf the frames on block as well, so it's only -2. And it used to be +1, so now it's -2. It does still offer a mini combo on hit. Like that, which is pretty good, but with it being almost completely linear, it seems, I'm not quite sure this will be usable anymore. You know, it seems like you can just kind of easily step if you just add steps into your movement, you know, like that, you might accidentally step it. So yeah, that's kind of weird. That's a pretty big nerf. It might make the move unusable. I'm not sure, but again, we'll have to see how it happens in practice. All right, 4/4 1+2, decrease the damage and decrease the pushback when it's blocked. So let's take a look at that move. Okay, this move. Yeah, I didn't know much about this move before. I haven't seen it used much. Maybe I just haven't been paying much attention lately. But it does seem pretty good. Just looking at it, it's a safe, very long range, mid knockdown move. So yeah, they did some small quality of life nerfs to it. I'm not sure why I haven't seen this move much. If I just haven't been paying attention, like I said, or if other moves were just so good that this was kind of overlooked. I think that's a pretty good move. So the slight nerfs, I think, are justified to it, and it'll still be pretty good. All Rising 2, decrease the damage from 10 to 8, and decrease the pushback when it's blocked to make it easier to punish. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at that. This is while standing 2. They nerfed the damage by 2, which is fine, and they just made it easier to block, easier to punish on block by decreasing the pushback there. So that's helpful. Just a nice quality of life nerf. While the enemy is down, they nerfed the damage on his down back 2 by 2 damage. Let's take a quick look at that. So that will be this whole string right here when the opponent is down. They nerfed the damage by 2. That's fine. I'm not sure if it was needed, but I'll take it. They nerfed the cane again. Changed the third hit's damage from 25 to 15. Okay, so the cane now does 10 less damage. The last hit does 10 less damage. So I think the cane has been nerfed quite enough now. They started off by nerfing the frames in the last patch, which I think was a great start. And now they nerfed the damage as well, which I think is also fine. So overall, the cane is still going to be really strong, obviously. This is just an amazing move to be using combos, or even if you just land it in neutral. So yeah, I think it's been nerfed enough at this point, and the cane should be fair now. I think it should be fair now, but we'll see. Only time will tell. The final nerf is to his parry. They increased the recovery animation by 5 frames. So now his parry will be much easier to whiff punish. So to all you Leroy haters out there, including myself, bait out the parries and start launch punishing for it. It should be much easier now. But yeah, that was my quick run through of the patch. Overall, I think these are some pretty strong nerfs. I think he got hit with the nerf bat pretty hard this time. And I would say that it's quite possible he's even fair now. It's quite possible he's even fair now. So I like these changes. We'll see how Leroy ends up. Probably in the very near future. I still think he'll be playable. But like I said, only time will tell. So thank you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed, don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.